This land is cursed. Where my people roamed freely, now roams only death. It came with the white man on his iron horse. White man brought with him corruption, greed, vanity, ignorance. He killed on holy ground, and the Great Spirit has abandoned this place. The dead can no longer leave the mortal realm. Restless and enraged, they wander the earth, craving for more of living flesh. A fate worse than death, undeserving even for a stupid white man. Light still flickers within you, stranger. Go now. Leave this place. May the Great Spirit take pity on you. May your soul find peace in the spirit world.
Rocket launcher!
You wake up in what seems to be an empty land, filled with sand, ghost towns, and pain, not knowing who you are and what you've done. But at this point, that information has become irrelevant, as it seems you are an undead brought back to life by what is called the Totem of Souls, bringing you back to life for the purpose of destroying the evil of the land, and another possible, more selfish reason. You can be brought back to life by this Totem of Souls, but in exchange, each time you die, you are given what is called a soul flaw. Soul flaws are an effect that nerf your character in a few ways. Die 3 times and a soul flaw will turn into a curse. The only path forward being through a cave, which teaches you basic mechanics like throwing rocks and sneaking around the monsters. In this cave, you can find bandages, a knife, an axe, a rusty revolver, and a shotgun if you search well enough. In this first area, the game teaches you very quickly how each weapon can be used in a setup. Shotguns are very loud and would be usually used in a full matchup against monsters. Revolvers are somewhat loud, but are good for shooting somewhat long range and stealth. Knife/melee are the goat at mauling a house in complete silence. Bandages and potions, specifically the red potions, can be used for healing. After leaving the cave and looking around, you can find the shaman, or the dude that buried you at the start of the game. At this point, the main character, Joe, pronounced Joe, realizes what the world has become, in a comparison of what the old world could have looked like. The world is riddled with monsters of all kinds, big, small, and really big. One thing I found interesting though, is that in the intro of the game, the shaman mentions something peculiar.
It came with the white man on his iron horse.
Thus, showing the possibility that the cause of this broken world was caused by the so-called stupid white man, or known as Job, the main character. The shaman's shop features a few items of interest, the bone knife and the spirit bow. The bone knife is a generally better knife and is genuinely the best melee in all of Chapter 1. Each surprise attack restores 5 HP, with a 25% sneak increase and an increased movement speed while sneaking. The spirit bow is probably the best early game weapon in general, excluding guns like the Orb of Night and the Hermit Stick, which I will go into later. One thing funny though is that if you go across the train tracks past the shaman, through a corridor and down a cliffside, you can find the spirit bow completely for free. This being a huge strat for people doing challenge runs in Blood, Sweat, and Tears difficulty, which is this game's version of hard mode. But personally, I generally don't recommend you do this. Throughout the map is items of all kinds, bullets, other potions, cursed items, and even secret legendary guns. Exploring is heavily recommended, as if you don't, you might miss out on certain items that are really good. The game is split into 3 chapters. After beating a chapter, you are completely locked out of the previous chapter until you beat the game and start on New Game Plus. If you don't know what that is, then it's basically just restarting the game with all of your loot, but the enemies are harder. After exploring past the train and the shaman, you can go to the bridge and climb down to get a free gold key for later. Afterwards, going past the bridge, you can meet the second and last merchant of Chapter 1. Extensive, with a whopping 6 guns and 2 melee weapons. He also sells ammo, potions, bandages, 2 artifacts, and a map, which I heavily recommend you buy. The merchant also sells the best revolver, or known as the Orb of Night, which inflicts 50% more damage to ethereal enemies, increased XP collection, and a 10% faster reload time. That'd be so awesome if it was 50. Since it is quite pricey for its chapter, it holds up pretty well, a good ways into the next chapter and the current chapter, making it a great setup choice. The 2 artifacts include the Soul Catcher and the Watch. Artifacts are basically extra items that give stat boost to your character. When aiming with the Watch, it can slow down time for 1 second, and the Soul Catcher increases stamina by 50. After talking, you can talk with the Ink of Souls? I don't know, I forgot his name. He tells you about what the curses of the land are, which is gold. Throughout time, each piece of gold had a certain lore behind it, each owner having their own flaws until their untimely demise. This is the map. If you look, you can go to the town, farm, mine, fort, or burial site. As I'll list out the easiest to hardest in my opinion, the difficulty of each area may depend if you search the entire area or not. If you search the entire area, then I believe the fort to be the hardest to get through, due to certain spitting assholes. The town has a lot more to offer compared to other locations. 14 different buildings to search and a church. There are 3 specific areas that are notable to search: the bar, the jail, and the church. The town houses 4 types of enemies: the animated dead, the birdman, the spirits, and the prodigal daughters. Animated dead are the basic bitch of the crop. The most they do is drool on the floor and run at you like a pit bull named Cupcake. The birdmen are a more complicated enemy that shoots at targets and attempts to dodge them, even when they aren't even being shot at. A truly schizo enemy of the undead. The spirits are floating heads. It's the best I can explain. The prodigal daughters are a true enemy to both the field and the bed. They have a big right arm and armed with a shotgun. American as she is, she will use her Second Amendment rights on you the moment she sees.
Hey, I'm just exercising my Second Amendment rights
The
here.
jail and the bar each hold a prodigal daughter. Prodigal daughters also hold a high chance of dropping their shotgun, and with a slightly smaller chance, it's a normal shotgun and not rusty. The jail holds a good amount of shotgun and revolver ammo, while the bar holds a free shotgun. a decent amount of valuables, and a vault.
Just what I crave.
With the gold key you can find under the bridge earlier, you can live your weirdest dreams of lung cancer. Once ravaging the entire town, you can find the church, but before you go in, if you look in the back, in a grave, you can find the decapitator, which heals you 5 HP for every headshot and does 70 damage. Its high damage for its tier makes up for its low range. If you land a headshot with any gun though, it does in fact have an increased range, so aim at the head. After getting the gun, you can enter the church and actually go up to collect ectoplasm, which is a pretty good artifact. Afterwards, heading down into the cave under the church to find the first gold piece, the goblet. In the cave is a collection of items and enemies, specifically a little too many animated dead, and the stupid fucking spit bitches. Oh my fucking god. If you kill the spit bitch, you can find a Vendigo heart.
Editor's note. There isn't a 100% chance this item is here.
Afterwards, you can search for the fucking hardest entrance ever. I genuinely thought I was doing something wrong trying to find this, but it's apparently in this random corridor somewhere, so you could just find it pretty easy. Once you find the entrance, you'll meet a room with 2 birdmen and a bunch of undead. At the end, you can get the goblet. In an alternative exit, you can find a new pathway to get another key, and also the big and very scary Vendigo himself. As these fuckers are twice the size of you, has 400 HP, and summon spirits, these guys are terrible to deal with in the first chapter. After dealing with the town and its underground, you can move on to find the farm. In the farm is the craziest swarm of birdmen I've ever seen. But since you're out there out in the open, you can practically snipe them with a decent revolver. In the inside is a different story, with a decently guarded area with hot chick prodigal daughters that beg you to check their OnlyFans and talk about how they hate men. One thing though, is while they're checking themselves out in the mirror, you can stab them from behind, hit their head, and she pops like a balloon.
Hellish spawn!
Down below is a basement with a few birdmen and the next gold item.
They need it at some point.
Pot.
No.
I guess, bro.
You're a fucking retard.
My name is Rita. Now, after a certain amount of time, you can go back to talk to both of the merchants, each one giving a quest. The shaman gives you a quest to bury a package. The second merchant offers you 3 different quests. The first quest, you raid a tower for a shot-through coin, which gives you a good amount of money. The second quest is a quest to find a basement in the bar of the town, in which you get drunk in a cursed basement. Now, when you get drunk, a deer mount on the wall will change. More on that later. Afterwards, he'll give you one more quest, to find a prodigal daughter in a certain cave, and simply only shoot or hit her mask off. Do not kill her. I don't think she comes back and you'll straight up fail the quest. Afterwards, you can bring her back and have a hot new babe sit in the cave of the merchant. Now, back to the deer mount. Upon talking to him, you can keep drinking with him as a quest, until eventually he tells you you're a fat fucking chud who needs friends. So he sends you on probably the strangest quest in the entire game, where you find a very shapely cactus that you can only talk to while drunk. She tells you about how terrible the world is, and you hug the cactus, I guess. I guess, bro. Apparently, after this conversation, you get bleeding for like 5 seconds. I wonder why. She then tells you about this miner who promised her a handful of gold, so she sends you to find him. Upon finding him, in the mining area, he tells you to check on this dude who really likes to give up in town. If you find him, he has a rope around his cactus root. I wonder what that means. He talks about his executioner failing him, and he needs more rope, so he sends you to the Cactus Sheriff, which is on the other side of town. When finding the sheriff, he tries to have a duel with you, but apparently his guns got stolen. So he sends you to find the bandit cactus. Yeah. The bandit cactus being across the whole map.
You stupid
3 minutes later of walking up to bro, upon finding him, he tries to shoot you after failing to rob you, but has no arms. Eventually, he says he will redeem himself, and then proceeds to summon, God. Yeah. Upon going to the light, you can get the best alcohol in the game, the Cactus Boda. When using it, it is infinite, which is obviously really good. Now this content is entirely optional, but I recommend you do this because all the quests either give you money or certain items. Head back to the mines, which features a few areas of interest, such as this little village side, the mines itself, and a lower corridor. The village side features some mid to decent tier loot. Yeah. But going into the cave, you can conveniently find the gold piece almost immediately.
A sheriff star. That's what I was searching for? Saki Bawaki. What the fuck?
But if you keep going down, you can find the Spider Light Corridor, which houses a secret gold chunk as an extra item to give to the Shrine of Souls. Editor's note. This item, you have to get it. So, yeah, get the chunk of gold. The shrine will tell you about the history of the Sheriff Star, about how the original sheriff had attempted to keep the town sane due to the horrible happenings of the town's apocalypse, until one day he chased a few cultists into the mines out of paranoia, then being shot and killed, with his body rotting with the rest of the caves. The fort being the next area to explore. It is covered with these undead and wooden boxes, which, surprisingly, these guys are super tanky and really hard to kill unless you break the box they are housed in. The fort also seems to be absolutely smothered in spit bitches. And if you go in this one building, you'll be absolutely swarmed so fast you won't even have time to hit on your fucking cigar.
Howdy, partners.
Whoa, what's the big idea? Hold on, let me get
In the next building over is a few undead, and a very unconveniently placed box undead, and the OnlyFans chick, just chilling in another room. After executing everyone, you can find the alleged gold skull, which, when asking the peg of souls, the stick of souls, he mentions that
are certain this skull is the thing that started the downfall and gave way to the birth of the curse. When the soldiers of the fort were building a new well, they found this skull, and they gave it to the colonel, who liked such oddities and old artifacts. He didn't even realize when the skull started whispering into his mind. They found the gold under the fort, thanks to these whispers. And thus the way to the curse has been opened wide.
Afterwards, you can go find the final area, the burial grounds. The burial grounds are hoarded with a bunch of Vendigos, as they are very dangerous and tanky. You can counter them with a stick of dynamite, effectively blowing them up. Deep in the burial ground, you can find the dagger, which I wish was a weapon, but I guess not. Apparently, Google thinks it's an artifact. Amazing. AI. Bravo. This is the future. Once collecting this dagger, you can bring it back to the shrine, which he tells you that everything has been done, and you can now go to the canyon to finish off the curse. In this crevice, you can find the door to the boss that is in it. But before you do that, you can get the best shotgun in Chapter 1, the Hermit Stick, which is a really good weapon for the boss. When going down, you can either do two things: head on fight the boss, or kill its roots, then fight it. I personally recommend you just head on fight it for the achievement and because it's more fun, or whatever. This is the Mother of Roots. It has 980 HP and has quite a few attacks. It will attack you in a wave of roots, and it will also summon Wendigo monsters and spirits during the fight. The only way to attack it is by shooting its heart when it opens up its tree trunk. The fast way to do this is by fighting and shooting an open stem that opens. They open usually quite a few times per minute, and they're always on the side of the boss. Depending on if you hit the roots will show how fast this fight really is. The Wendigos and spirits being a big problem of the fight, I highly recommend you deal with them the moment they spawn, as they are a huge problem. Once beaten, it will trigger a cutscene to transfer you to the next chapter, as this story has only just begun.
In darkness, light dawns, and yet the Lord took everything from his most loyal servant Job over a bet with the devil. Not knowing his offense against God, Job prayed for death to end his torment. He longed for the eternal rest of the grave. But the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, he is in thine hand. And by God's permission, he was the devil's plaything until the devil was done with him. Job was a man of faith, a wealthy man, but the devil took his good life away and riddled his body with boils. You test me, Lord, but I will get it all back, no matter the cost.
Once again, you wake up, this time already in the safety of someone else's abode. While confused and dazed, a figure yells at you, seemingly in fear of you in some way. Once rebound back to reality, you realize it's a girl, seemingly in a slow, painful transition of becoming a prodigal daughter. When talking to her more, she asks you questions in hopes you aren't just another monster to be killed. When talking to her more, she asks you questions in hopes you aren't just another monster to be killed. As not only is this land dangerous, it seems that all of the lands are dangerous. Sadly, the tree you killed only stopped calamity in those first lands. The woman eventually asks you for a favor to prove your worth, to find a little girl and a priest. Once she gives you this objective, you can ask to see her wares. With a couple of options at hand, I personally recommend you save for the Rattler, the Old Faithful, or the Boots. The Rattler being the second best revolver in the game, the Old Faithful being a huge boost for revolver setups, and the Boots being a really good artifact for movement and sneaking. After your encounter with who she calls herself Annabelle, you can finally meet the swamps, a complete opposite to the dull wastelands of the desert. Unlike the desert, the swamps have a hefty amount of locations. This is the map of Chapter 2, with 14 locations compared to Chapter 1's 5 main locations, which I will now list out. The camp, the mega fort, the town, the skin camp, the guy who died on a ladder, the swamp town, the church and the graveyard, the golden herring, the watchtower, the sawmill, the spirit rider, the wood fort, the treehouse, the gator farm, the cultist camp and the cultist cave. All of these locations have certain worths of checking out. As you can already tell, Chapter 2 is much more extensive and is where most of the playthrough is set in. Now, to list out the difficulties like last time. The lower the number, the harder the area. If you're wondering why most of the main objectives are at the bottom, well, that's cause the devs really liked fucking with its player base. Now, before you immediately leave camp, there are these mini tree houses surrounding the area. Loot one of them, and you can get a free buffalo rifle, which does a hefty 120 damage, but requires the new long bullets, which are pretty pricey. Afterwards, you can go to your first objective, the sawmill or the mega fort. I stupidly chose the mega fort, the much harder option. In the fort is a safe, about 50 enemies, and a rope to hang yourself. A cave underneath the fort that holds a decent melee weapon as well. Now, your objective is to get to the top of the fort, where the the priest, lays totally helpless. Which is a lot easier said than done, given the insane amount of enemies waiting for the slightest slip of the nuts. Be careful though, a new enemy I like to call the Discord mod walks with a shotgun and a horrible downgrade, the amazing prodigal daughter. Apparently, one can spawn underneath the farm in Chapter 1, which is interesting to note. Now, back to the task at hand. In the Super Fort, you can choose two pathways, the front door or the basement. I personally think the basement to be better, because you can find a holy item in the basement, which will be required from Jeff Bezos. I mean, the priest upstairs. Through the building, you can find a safe, which is inside is a revolver, some ammo, a soluble, and a blue crow skull, which is pretty mid in my opinion, so you should save your keys on this one. Now, not only is this area infested, but the moment you aggro an enemy, you basically aggro all of them. Wait, is that the sponsorship? Bells and whistles and ringtones? This video is sponsored by I'm broke. Sponsor me. Once dealing with most of the enemies, you can find the priest. As you can tell by his appearance, he is very ill. From some sort of infection, when asking for him to go back to the village, he insists that he needs his holy item. On finding it, you quickly realize it's a dispenser of alcohol. What a holy fellow. When going back to the camp, his wares are quite empty, as he sells a sword, a gun, and a bunch of potions. That sword being really bad, and the Avenger's pistol being also really bad. Now, as a potion-free person, excluding red potions, I really didn't care about his wares that much. The gun and the sword can also be found on the map for free multiple times. One specific spot you can find the Avenger's pistol is in the skin camp. As you've now been introduced to Jeff Bezos, you can move on to attempt to save the little girl at the sawmill. The sawmill featuring a good bit of enemies, such as Discord mods, sniper buds, cupcakes, and the skin collector, whom I will talk about later. One thing interesting about the sawmill though, is it doesn't seem to have very much loot. Comparing to other areas, all it really offers is ammos and potions. It does have a safe, but I'm not really sure it's worth it. That's kind of up to you to decide. The sawmill being less crowded and more open, allowing for decent sneaking around. In the building though is a different story, being less crowded but smothered with at least 3 enemies per room. As one says, silent farts are the deadliest. Once going through a few crevices and a few holes, you can eventually find a little girl. But there's a problem. She needs her teddy bear. With her teddy bear hidden across a few holes and whatnot, you can find this room that seems to have a ritual circle. That teddy bear that you need to find is in the ritual circle. Totally not cursed. Once finding her teddy bear, you can bring her back to the camp, and you can ask her a few questions about the other characters. Asking about Annabelle.
Sometimes he'll comb my hair and sing.
Meanwhile, the priest
Drinking holy water makes him calmer. For a while. I am Twen.
as you can figure out very quickly, that holy water is just alcohol. Alcoholic Priest Bezos. Hell yeah, Bertman! After saving Twen, you can talk to this wooden dude on top of the hill that Annabelle talks about. He mentions a sort of partner he had lost that could have useful information about defeating the land's evil. When telling the Shrine of Souls, shit, I said it right this time. The shrine will give you the quest to fortnight reboot this alleged mass murderer. Now, instead of immediately doing these quests, you can explore other places, as this quest is the second to final quest to the boss. This is the wood fort, biggest piece of shit in the land, due to one thing, the pit. I don't know what the devs were on when they made this pit, but it is filled with these drowner dudes who each have 120 HP, and has a chest in the middle of it. It's such an amazing pit that I died multiple times while not even going in the pit. Now, was the chest worth it? Well, it depends. If you're doing an Iron Man playthrough, this is the Raven Skull's necklace. Upon dying with it, you will be teleported to a safe place on the threat of death, and it has a 50% chance of breaking. But I'm not playing an Iron Man, so this is not worth it. Not only is this not worth it, the area isn't either, because of this stupid skin stealer placed in the middle, basically cock-blocking all the loot. Once looting that, there are a few other buildings in the area you can loot. The doctor's office and the spirit rider. Once finding the doctor's office, it has 3 of the new Deathstalker enemies right outside, which are super tanky and super scary. But once going near the building, you can find Annabelle's weed. And if you go on top the building, you can find a True American's Ultra Gig 50 caliber rifle on standby, or known as the Second Coming. A hefty rifle that does 130 damage, and the weapon is so scary that cultists won't attack unprovoked. Meanwhile, when finding the Spirit Rider, it holds a few things clear. This bitch is haunted as fuck. But when looking around you, you can find some good loot. One of which is the Last Breath. Probably my favorite weapon in the entire game. And you've probably seen it in a couple of clips. With a solid 90 damage. But that's not the good part. With each aggroed enemy, the damage will increase by 25% and get a 5% boost to reload. Theoretically, if you were fighting 8 enemies, you would have a 200% damage increase and a 45% reload increase, which is a whopping 270 damage. An absolute trooper of a shotgun. It is definitely the shotgun the Terminator would use. Now back to the characters. When talking to the priest, he will actually give you a quest to find a cure for him, as he is deathly ill. Accepting the quest, you can just go on and get it and give it to him. But if you talk to Annabelle while the quest is still active, she will ask you to give it to her instead.
Sorry, but if it's true, can you consider giving it to me? I don't even want to imagine what will happen if I don't get rid of this cursed mask. Thanks, this must be enough for now. Good luck out there. Or, do you need anything?
While thinking about this decision, I went to the church in the graveyard, which has one of the pieces to the Fortnite reboot for the mass murderer. The graveyard area is covered in wooden box monsters. Now I don't recommend you kill all of them, as there's so many you would just waste ammo. But in the middle of the yard you can find a locked coffin. Once unlocking it, you can get the first item of this dead man, his skull. One thing though, is don't run into the basement in this one building. While the boxmen are aggroed, they will absolutely trap you in. Afterward, you can search the church itself and find a very interesting note.
Damn that priest! I knew he was influential, but I never expected he would force a whole squad to be his bodyguard on some personal mission. A unit of church's finest guards, now reduced to muddy human shield, and for whom, under a cloak of faith, he barely hides his love for pipe and booze. The first sign of trouble, he just bolted! I don't even know when, as we were fighting for our lives, but he simply vanished. Now, we're lying in a pools of our own blood, barely alive. We fought as we should, and vanquished those devils. Only I remain, the whole squad. There's an abandoned church nearby. I shall wait there for our brother. If God wills it, he will come there, looking for help. He shall find me, instead.
Once finding out this info, I immediately made my decision. Save Annabelle. For the priest was a terrible person, ruthless and horrid, knowing exactly what his fate should be in the future. In saving Annabelle, you must find the cure. To find the cure, you need to go to this collection of big rocks. In the middle is the cure. It's guarded by spirits to what is called wraiths, who are very tanky and very dangerous, unless you use silver or gold ammo. They shoot at a somewhat rapid rate and are very hard to deal with in groups, so be careful. Even after getting the cure, if you didn't kill the spirits, they will immediately follow you for miles until you're dead or you kill them off. After collecting the cure, you can run back and give it to either Annabelle or the priest. I obviously chose Annabelle, but there are consequences to each choice, which I will get into in a minute. As you give the cure to Annabelle though, she will thank you yearly.
Thank you so much.
And give you a nice discount on all of her items.
Liquid? Huh. Somehow it never occurred to me that it may be a potion. Well, I'll manage somehow. Thanks again. Oh, and one more thing. Whatever you need from my supplies, you get it with a nice discount. It's the least I can do after all you've done for me.
Another mechanic is that you can give her flowers, and that'll make her very happy.
My favorite flower, as usual, grew where fire raged, bringing new life into darkened soil. My personal sign of hope. Thank you.
Eventually, after leaving and returning, you can see her mask has been cured of her, with what seems to be a somewhat scar of what the mask left on her arm. After that as well, she will be much more excited to see you, being very happy of your presence, even calling you her favorite undead. She also seems to be much more open to you as well, telling you more than just the typical talk. Now, what are the consequences? When choosing Annabelle over the priest, you do get a discount, but once the cure has been set in motion with Annabelle, the priest will run outside and die off, almost right outside the base. You can loot his body for a hefty amount of potions, and Annabelle will actually return in Chapter 3 for a brief amount of time. So, if you wanted to buy something from her after missing out, you can. The priest also seems to leave down a note. Very interesting note.
As with all great plans, this one has failed in an unexpected way. The situation is not the worst though. I remain optimistic. Guards didn't suspect a thing. In their eyes, everything was sanctioned by the church, and they just had to do their duty, not ask questions. It was easy to pull some strings. Make a donation here, a bribe there. I won't lie, parading around as a high-ranking official from overseas was fun for a while. Still, the captain was suspicious. He was smart, which meant I had to ditch him and the rest. Luckily, an opportunity came when our group stumbled into some monstrosities. So, I am a free man again. My objective is somewhere out there, in that cursed bog. I lost my protection earlier than anticipated, which is far from perfect, but I will manage. I still have my priest's clothing, and no one knows my face for miles. I will manage, or find someone to do the deed for me.
But what if you chose the priest? Well, that's a much worse option. Now, instead of Annabelle just dying, she will be overtaken by the curse and will return in Chapter 3, but not in a good way. Cursed by the mask, she's controlled and stuck in an infinite torment of the mask, forcing her to do its bidding. If you find her, she will immediately be forced to attempt to attack and kill you. Once killing her, she will drop a shotgun in the glove of wiredness. This loot can be bought by her as well, so there really is no upside in doing this. The priest will return in Chapter 3, just like Annabelle, but in your mind, is it really worth it choosing his life over hers? This decision, you've won, but at what cost? Sounds Undertale. I have a penis to pick with you. I mean, another area to explore is the Golden Herring. Now, after executing and spanking every baddie on this big golden behemoth, I figured out one thing. This boat ain't got shit! Throughout all the footage, I found one legendary weapon, which is called the Edge, which is unironically the worst weapon I've ever seen, as every missed attack causes bleeding. Now you may think it has a damage upside, well it definitely doesn't, with it being somewhat worse than the Lionheart. Very sad. Once all is said and done, you can go to the next main objective, the Gator Farm. Now, the Gator Farm is covered in two types of enemies, the Gators and the Skin Stealers. The Gators having 220 health and do a solid 45 damage on bite. Attempting to dash at you to hit you, one more thing to note, is that they are much faster in water than on land. So, if you're being chased by multiple, then get out of the water! These guys require at least 2 headshots to kill, add insult to injury. However, the Skin Collector is much worse. They're super tanky, wear a helmet, and do 50 damage. These fuckers even throw human heads at you. What's much worse though, is from what they're wearing. It seems they use human skin from other people to keep themselves together, as you can see from their size. They are also noticeably the same speed as you, so getting away from them is pretty much impossible. What they drop is a knife an axe, and a human face. You can even find the people that they skin in the skin camp, which is totally amazing. Whoa! Once getting the killer's hat and skedaddling, you can go to the next area, the cultist cave. The cultist cave being a pretty interesting area, thus heavily encouraging you to silently kill all who oppose you. Which is interesting. The area seems to also have a good amount of loot everywhere, with a special little blue axe called the Four Winds, which is like a tomahawk, which is also throwable. But it doesn't need to be retrieved, making it a good option for people who, for some reason, like doing throw-only runs. But to get to that, there's a teeny issue. The enemy account is kind of crazy. At times, you'll likely need to gun your way through the caves due to its heavy guard count, or known as the cultists, who each have 200 HP, deal 35 damage, and shoot a leech out of their hand, which does 25 damage. If you get hit by the leech, you get bleeding, and the leech effect will drain your health rapidly. Now, while you can fix the bleeding with bandages, the leech effect lasts until it's over, or you're already dead. Once gunning down the entire leech, gator, and cultist population though, you can get the goods and then proceed to get dicked down by a Deathstalker right outside, cause somebody wanted to play Mecha Man, fuck this game! Meanwhile, in a quiet farm area, you can find the next piece to the Skelly Bones puzzle, in something known as the Endless Hunger. A weapon that cucks enemies before they even have time to react, and a legendary melee weapon that allows you to finally ditch your shitty basic bitch dagger for your big, shum chat hungry dagger. Now, in coming back to the camp, you can use magic voodoo bullshit to summon the infamous, the terrible Mr. Bones! His wares are absolutely dog shit, but he's a main objective character, so I guess we need him. Kind of, not really. Now, immediately after summoning him, the evil of the land shows itself, and Annabelle is an absolute fit.
You stupid
In response to this, Mr. Bones offers an idea to kill this big Cthulhu bastard. To kill it, you need to get all of these random knickknacks, combine them together, do a humma humma dance, and the Cthulhu bitch becomes somewhat killable. So, in response to any normal human being who's sane, we would all have one single plan in finding this out.
Kill an entire civilization.
Happy birthday! Now, after killing everyone, I found myself at a watchtower, and judging by my sixth sense, there's a living creature at the top of this tower that may or may not be a hot chick. One issue though, there's no way up. Or is there? Now, unlike other secret areas, this one is peculiar. You can run around and try and get up through brute force all you want, but there's no way up. But there's also a secret item you can find on the map. This is the Black Crow Skull, probably the rarest consumable and a somewhat useful one as well. Its whole use is that you can use it to teleport where you want. Theoretically, if you go to the stairs of the lighthouse and use this crow skull, you'll be teleported to somewhere new. This is Alvaro, your main supplier of the good artifacts of this game.
You must be wondering if you're dreaming. Everything is in fact just that. A dream. A fever sending chills down your spine. No one lives forever, but Alvaro does. But is Alvaro even here? Who can tell? Maybe it's all in your head. Prey and victim can be both at the same time. Fancy some wine? Bought it myself from some reptile. But no, Alvaro sees you're too busy. You must go. Was nice meeting you, but it's better if you would forget the sight of brave Alvaro. Alas, battling the chaos is a long task. Cry for me. Goodbye. Alvaro will remain here and dream
For a short time on this universe, he'll talk nonsense and crazy, but when he vanishes, he leaves behind his rib, which is the second best artifact in the game, so absolutely use it to your advantage, as it gives a whopping 69 HP and 69 max stamina when equipping, which is kind of insane. It also seems to synergize with another artifact. More on that much later. Now after all of that, it's time to get this items for Mr. Bones. Each item having their own respective ways of collection, with 4 items to collect. The giant leech is dropped by the big gators. The Ruguru's tongue is dropped by the big dogs. The angel lily can just be found on the map, and the cultist teeth can obviously be found on a cultist. Very great, but what if you think this is not enough? What if you think you're not prepared for the fight just yet? Well, let's look at our options.
This is the Gunaholic game! You guess if a gun is good or not, based on its looks.
Let's begin.
True or false? Is this gun overpowered? Well, let's find out. This is known as the Hedera. Okay. It takes 3 headshots. It has a 15 mag for this bad boy. As it seems, this gun is actually quite terrible. The Hedera is dog shit. Bonus 10% to sneaking when hiding in bushes. Completely worthless. Our next contender is a special golden gun. Let's find out. Is this weapon dog shit? Oh, hello, test subject. Hello, guinea pig. Okay. Oh no! Seems we've come up with our first issue. We've gotten an issue. This guy doesn't seem to do a lot of damage. Let's see. As this weapon does in fact do 90 damage, which isn't terrible. It has better prices at shops by 25% and a faster reload by 15%. Now, usually you'd think this be pretty good, but to remove it, you must die or use the purple revival, which if I look in my inventory, I do in fact have. But in cases of early game, this gun is not worth it. We've got this big ass crossbow. Time to test it out. Oh damn. Really? An interesting one. With a very satisfying cocking sound effect. Sadly, the range isn't the greatest. It seems that this gun has some of the highest accuracy, as it can tell you exactly where the bullet will probably go, which is very nice for sniping. This is the Iron Thumb. It has a faster reload speed by 25%, with 44 damage and a range of 25 meters. The big question though, is it worth it? No. Comparing it to the Avenger pistol, which is a absolutely terrible weapon to use, it has the exact same range. may not have the same damage, but it doesn't have very much of an upper hand given that this is a primary-only weapon, meaning that you're using a very precious primary slot that could be used on something better. Given, you can still do a good bit of damage with the Avenger's Pistol, even though it's quite terrible. But this is a side weapon. This is a main weapon, making it not worth it. Our final weapon in the roster is this magical little bow. Well, this one's quite different. We'll do 2 tests on this one. As it seems, it did take a bit to kill that gator. Now, let's do something specific. Like, take a lot of damage. And then you got it. You got this? What an aggregate clear amount. Now things have really ramped up. This is the Bloody Hunt, a weapon you can find with the sawmill as a secret little area. With its doing a generic 35 damage and a range of 21 meters, headshots damage increased by 25%, damage increased by 10%. Each missing HP point increases damage by 1%. But, one issue, every missed shot costs 5 HP, which, to be 100% a buck, isn't that much of an issue. Even when it's somewhat out of range, it does a good amount of damage. Wow, look at that. Fabulous. This setup is amazing, given that if you actually got Alvaro's rib, you have a pretty good amount of health, as I have 240 health right now with the Alvaro rib. So I can still lose 140 HP and get a solid 51 plus damage, which is absolutely bonkers, giving this normal basic bow a solid 80 damage per shot, somewhat rivaling certain shotguns. So this weapon is absolutely worth it. Oh shit, hold on, we got an issue. Oh, what do you want, cuck? Come on. Excuse me, sir. Yeah, be quiet. Oh, you want another bullet? You want another bullet? Yeah, stay fucking quiet, buddy.
Now that you've prepared for the big and the bad, it's time to talk to Mr. Bones. Get this voodoo charade started. By what he states, using fire against the beast makes it mortal, so it's required to shoot the bonfires that he has set up around the area. Now, it's time to begin the battle. After beating the boss, it does not in fact set a cutscene, as instead, you have the choice to keep roaming or move forward. As I've already shown you mostly everything, it's time to move forward with our new pal, Mr. Bones.
No loose ends. That's how I do my business. The giant bastard that was my bane, dead. The double-crossing ex-partner who had me cut to pieces, dealt with. We have a lot in common, my new pal and I. Like a complicated relationship with death. But the demons he's running away from are wearing me down. Leave no loose ends, my friend, or I'll lend you myself.
And that's it. There you have it. Bloodwest. A very fitting end to defeat a Cthulhu-like being and to escape the past of your spirit bind with, I assume, the devil, something like that. Very fitting end.
We finna kill that bitch. He gonna die. We don't leave no loose ends. We kill the demon. We shall kill. We shall kill the demon. He shall die. He shall feel our rage in our hearts. Destruction of man shall not kill. We will kill the demon. The demon shall die. He shall be buried forever. And he shall rob you. And we shall kill Annabelle the Taro. We will stop Annabelle after beating the demon and then bless it forever. Chapter 3. Let's have one more time. Yes. One more time. This is Oh, yo, give me another. Yeah, give me a ciggy.
Ah, yes. Another bountiful land of booze, ciggies, guns, and monsters. This is the final chapter, and it is this chapter while you unload your entire mag on bears and still not kill them. Now, instead of waking up because you were summoned, you woke up because you bonked your clumsy little kawaii head on a rock and fucking died. As this is the final chapter, this is of course the chapter with the most insane setups. So kiss your hungry big Chad knife goodbye. And your magical rattler, because this shit's about to get real. As you and your new best friend, Mr. Bones, were correlating, you both figure out very quickly that you need a Shrine of Souls. You can't just keep reviving each other for eternity, so you decide to set out on a quest to make a new Shrine of Souls, and get infinite reboot cards to eternally murder everyone in a 1,000-mile radius with the Stone Mace. A true weapon of mass destruction. Now, when talking to big guy Mr. Bones, his first order is to set out expedition to find a cursed item that he lost long ago. Apparently being very important and powerful in a very certain way. Very interesting. Now, when running down to the bottom of the mountain, you notice something strange. Why the hell do they look like that? This is Diggersville. I said Diggersville, not You get the point. The first little quiet town you're about to decimate. And this is the Defiler. And get used to these guys, cause they're everywhere. The developers were dumping seas of these dudes, given they're so weak. Headshot them once and they instantly die. But after they die, their heads explode. And they shoot out what's called a Hellbat, which is super weak, but they dash at Mach 10 at you, blind you, and if you don't start spam clicking, they stay on your screen. Now, at first, this isn't the worst thing in the world, until you get hit by one of these while you're in the middle of fighting a big ass dude, effectively instantly getting cucked right then and there. Your main objective is this stone building in the town's graveyard, which has a good bit of enemies inside of it and 2 wraiths guarding the door, like it's a fucking Rust server. After killing the worst door campers of the 67th century, you can hit your Siggy and run straight into the catacombs, where every Chapter 2 enemy sits for some reason. Cultist, basic bitch undead, spitter freaks, and a very special Chapter 3 enemy, who's either really terrible or one of the easiest depending on how you fight it. This is the infamous Boomerang. It is immortal to all normal bullets, but can be disintegrated by golden and fire bullets. Like I said, it really depends on you how you fight these skinless chicks. With a solid 190 health, when headshotting them with a normal bullet, they cower in pain, but are still unkillable to normal bullets. Now, they can also swing their arm and shoot their long, basic bitch nails at you, each nail doing an effective 10 damage each. After murdering the Boohag, you can get this silly little bell, which is quite important in getting certain weapons which Kiddard will talk about later. Once skedaddling and coming back to the base, you can find Annabelle. Go! If you see the priest, then I hope your pillow is warm and covered in piss. Now, if you didn't buy anything important from Annabelle, well, this is your last chance, as after this interaction, she will leave forever. As I mentioned earlier, I heavily recommend you buy all 3 of these items. The skin boots, the Old Faithful, and the Rattler, if you don't already have a good revolver on this chapter. The Rattler being able to one-tap basic enemies in the head, which is really good for a revolver. Now, back to Diggersville. There's a few buildings to note of in Diggersville, a new bar, and this random building, as this building has a safe in it and a new weapon called the...
This is the sentence. The sentence has 2 bullets. Seems to be pretty interesting. Quite effective against an enemy that can be one tap, but whatever. Not terrible damage. Ooh, hello. Good morning. Oh, fucking rock at you. An interesting weapon. As this is kind of a basic shotgun. Nothing really special about it. Doesn't seem to have very crazy statistics about it, given that it is a super legendary, apparently. Headshots kills, restores 10 HP. If inside demonic vapors, 50% critical hit chance increase. To be 100% fair, this is quite boring. Hello. As it seems, there's not really much of a damage increase on this, so it's definitely not worth it. I mean, the 10 headshot HP increase is kind of cool. I mess with it, but I feel like there's other weapons that can do the exact same thing, if not better.
Memory loss or something. I've told you already. This will help.
Once that is said and done, you can go back to Mr. Bones, and you will talk about needing a powerful soul for the Shrine of Souls, and seeing a certain someone in the distance who might know something. Tells you to check it out. One funny thing is that certain thing he saw was across the map from his location. I guess Mr. Bones has eagle eyes or something. After running the Flash's daily run distance, you can find a scientist, or known as the Doctor, who has decent wares and something known as the Red Bill.
Quite terrible. Now we have the Red Bill. Ooh. Can it pierce? Let's find out. It cannot pierce. Wow, that's actually kind of mean. What the hell? Why can't it pierce? Boring. Ah! Very cool gun though. Oh. Now, let's do something. Hit me! Hit me. Alright. What's my health? Interesting. So. Boom. Look at that. It's a good amount of HP setback. If you look at it, headshot kills restore 40 HP with 140 damage. As it seems, this seems to be an upgrade to either A, the Second Coming, or the, what was it called? A Buffalo Rifle, which isn't bad. I'd say it's pretty good. A lot better than the Sentence, given that it has no downsides to the weapon, except for its abhorrent reload time for its 1 bullet. But you can really live with that.
The rest of his wares are quite average. One thing really great though is that he sells a good amount of potions. So, he's a very good replacement for the priest. Take that, Jeff Bezos Glazers. If you ask him if there is any possible candidates for whom has a powerful soul you can collect, as he does not believe in souls, he hypothesizes a good theory that if something would have a powerful soul, then it'd be something in the chasm/canyon that rips through the town. But the doctor recommends to help by making you a certain thing that allows you to go into the chasm without getting damaged that much, due to being covered in what is called miasma, which is, to be fair, not that dangerous, and you could just go through the entire chasm without the item. But in case you want the doctor's quest, he will ask theoretical questions on what he needs, and you can answer what you think he needs. If you answer wrong though, he makes fun of you and basically calls you stupid. If you got all of them right, he will actually just give you the item for free. So, the more you get wrong, the more you have to do. On 3 of the questions, it's either pure alcohol, demon skin, or a very high tier acid. The strong acid can be found in the iron mines, while the strong alcohol can be found in the town next to the doctor's cave. The demon skin can be looted off of demons. These guys have a whopping 750 HP and shoot flaming spirits that at which explode on you on impact. Each explosion dealing 50 damage, which is quite scary. Demons also have a melee which does 50 damage, so stay away unless you believe you can Thor strike one-tap this guy. Good tip, you can use the flaming head it spawns to deal damage against the demon, instead of the flaming spirit being shot at you. Just simply shoot at them the moment they spawn. Once collecting all 3 of these bad boys, you can create the artifact known as Salamander Armor, which decreases damage in miasma by 80%. Going to the chasm, it is covered in miasma, but to be fair, it doesn't do that much damage, so you could just run through it with ease. I recommend you get red potions and bandages though for this. The area is smothered in demons and a creature named the Contaminator, whom has 190 HP and a melee damage of 40. They also leave an aura of miasma, as these guys fucking stink! Ew! Ew, he stinks! His booty smells like poo-poo! Ew! Even after they die, they leave behind the miasma, leaving a fucking dookie on the floor whenever they die. Perhaps these are the dudes causing the miasma problem down here. Once reaching a certain area though, you can find new guns, such as the Stinger, the machine revolver, and the repeating shotgun.
The Stinger is basically just an upgraded buffalo rifle, doing a good amount of damage, but in actuality, there are a better option. That better option being the Call of the Abyss, which is a really good gun, but I'll explain that later. The machine revolver is a basic revolver with the damage of the Rattler being 38, but it has the highest ammo mag in the entire game of 38, or no, 28, my bad. Which is kind of insane, and you can basically unload using the fanning ability, so very amazing. Unironically, making it the best revolver in the game. The repeating shotgun is a special load shotgun that does way too much damage of 110, and it has a mag of 6. This weapon also is really good against crowds, and it will absolutely decimate everything, so absolutely worth it. Guaranteed, probably the best shotgun in the game. Kind of sad though, it doesn't look very cool. It also has the highest brute force damage, excluding the Call of the Abyss, which I'll explain later.
Once reaching the bottom of the chasm, you can find the powerful soul that the doctor mentioned. Now after the doctor helps you, you can actually do an extra quest for him, where you can find his other scientist partner buddy, or known as the dude who keeps leaving these animal logs everywhere, which are a good item for selling. As he is located in the sawmill, you can head over to find him at the back of the town. But he got mauled by an invisible hobo. These hobos are known as the Broken Screams, and they have a base HP of 600 and deal 30 damage on contact. They also give heavy bleeding, which is a much worse version of bleeding. It fucking sucks. A kind of horrendous enemy when you aren't being careful, given that you could just walk into them randomly and then just get mauled and die. Anyways, the scientist also has a gold monocle on his corpse, which you can use as an artifact. It actually lets you see enemies through walls, which is pretty good. You can't sell it though, which is kind of sad. You can even wear it in front of the doctor for clowning on your preschool level intelligence, as telling him that the other scientist is dead. He will thank you and be asked to be left alone for a while. Afterward, you can go to Mr. Bones and give him the powerful soul. Upon that, he will tell you about this weird shrine area that requires you to say a certain catchphrase. Upon the saying, you can interact with the local spirit life, and they will require 4 alien nut-stained figurines that match each of their statues, 1 in 4 separate areas. Meanwhile, randomly, a visitor will visit the camp, a very strange boo hag with orange hair that wants her skin back for some reason. Her skin is located in some Reddit mod's basement, who he stole from the boo hag.
Makes my skin crawl. Keeping the skin to himself.
Would he perhaps be Dr. House? No, but for real though. Why did bro steal the boo hag's skin? It makes no sense. Like, what are you even gonna do with that? It's just someone's skin. You know, that's kind of weird, right? Like, hey, I got this boo hag skin.
More like, lick on her.
Once giving her skin, she will ask for your map, and she will then mark places on the map where she ate people and left their bodies, which is, interesting. Most loot is pretty bad, though. Wait. Is that a glowing knife? Now this is interesting. Now, this is the painting cutter. This is a very interesting item, as it looks exactly like a normal knife, but it glows red. Now, if you leave this area and find a circus area, you can find a Ouija board. This Ouija board will spell out a certain phrase. Cut, throat, painting. Interesting. Now, there's actually a missing red cart out of all of the carts in the circus. You can actually find this cart at a very good ways away, next to the iron mine, or the sawmill. I don't really remember which one. Upon finding this, there's a few paintings around. If you pull out the painting cutter and cut this painting on the wall, it opens a secret entrance to a secret room. In the room is the Necklace of Alvaro, the best artifact in the game by far and guaranteed overall. Every 30 seconds, it can block any attack, and if you use Alvaro's rib with the necklace, it's every 15 seconds, which is absolutely horrid. Now, once that is said and done, you can go to the statues again and say the special phrase. Once placing down all the statues, the door will open to the final boss. But wait! What if you're not prepared enough? Again. Throw it up, Kiddard!
Back it again with Kiddard Gaming 6967.
Today, we have Chapter 3's weapon.
Now this is the section where Kiddard explains at light speed how to get every weapon in Chapter 3 that hasn't been explained already. Be prepared. 3, 2, 3, 1, 0.
The first weapon is a stone maester. You need to find a bell in the random wall somewhere, which opens up to a path. Throw everything inside mouse and barrels and find the mace and the corpse. The hatred can be found at this rear camp at the corner of the map. If you use the bell gun near the wall, run past a bunch of enemies, find this room, get the hatred. And despite you can find a blood pool near the middle of the map past the circus. The boys, Supida, can be found in a random building southeast of the sawmill with a good belt ammo. The wolf thing can be found in a building outside at the iron mines area. Sometimes sitting on top of dresser. The breathless is a randomly spawning weapon inside the iron mines. Sometimes in some random spots on the floor. The quality best can be bought by Mr. Bones for a whopping 20,000 coins. Okay, that's it. Now, we have the hatred. Woo! Let's see this. Hello? Anybody home? Oh, we've got a lot of contenders. Hello. I'll come for your butt. Oh shit. Get that one, get that one! Get it. A battle of the axe! Oh shit. The weapon of the hatred. The damage. The damage of this thing sucks. Really bad. As it is similar and akin to a tomahawk, and it's downgraded 4 wins. It's basically just a 4 wins, but better. It does more damage, has a better secondary, Range attacks leave toxic vapors at the point of impact, doesn't require ammunition. I'd say the downside, though, is the fact that it leaves toxic vapors, which you think would be good for emitting damage, but in actuality, you're actually going to get hurt by your own toxic vapor, which is kind of sad. Let's see. Does it follow him? Nope. He doesn't even get hit, which is kind of sad. Making the toxic vapor is kind of bad. So, this is not worth it. Poo-poo, poo-poo, sticky poo-poo weapon. Oh my gosh, my inventory. Next weapon in our roster is the Wolf Fang. Woo! Shiny thing! Aw. Doesn't really do that much damage, does it? Dude, this is a rifle, by the way. This isn't a pistol. This is a rifle. Not very good, is it? Given that there's a perk. Let me find it. Gunslinger. If you get Gunslinger level 3, you can get fanning for all revolvers, which allows you to rapid-fire spam shoot anyone without aiming, which is really good. But in this case, you kind of have to cock your gun, which makes it kind of harder to use. Kind of sad. It does have a 5% chance to one-shot, which is quite interesting and quite helpful. Let's go find an enemy. Oh wow, kind of weak. Oh shit! Gonna handle a shootout? Oh my god, this guy's fucking tanky. Look at that! Poo-poo weapon. Another poo-poo weapon. Not worth it. 5% instant kill chance. Reduce weapon sway when aiming by 30%. Time slows by 30% for 2 seconds when using sight. The sight thing is kind of worthless though, given there's a perk you can use whenever it slows down time you aim. It'll be pretty helpful. So the aiming part of this is kind of worthless. So, poop, poop. This weapon is poop. These guys smell like poop. Our next weapon? Big ass crossbow. Let's figure this out. See how good this is. La 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 la. Alright. Got our sights aimed. Ooh. A satisfying cock sound. Very satisfying. Ooh. Nice.
You need those.
Let's see. Any unsuspecting victims nearby? Hit him! Boom! Woo! That's nice. Probably one of the most satisfying reload sound effects in the game. This is the more Subida. Or Subida? The more Subida. A golden, very beautiful looking gun. Let me put it on the ground. Woo! Look at that. What a wild looking fucker.
Whatever gets the job done.
Yeah. Headshot damage increased by 50% and reload speed increased by 25%. Given that you can have a 4 times damage when headshotting with most enemies, it does 200 damage, but with the headshot damage increase, it does 300 damage, which is absolutely bonkers. Making headshots absolutely killer. Add that with gold ammo, you got yourself a killer combo. Oh shit. Come on, come on me. Eat shit, lady. Oh. Excuse me, let me just, oh my god. Where'd that arrow go? Or whatever. There we go. Give me my fucking bow back.
Never enough.
Anyways. Oh shit. Anyway, this weapon has really good damage, so I'd say it's worth it. Next weapon. The Spike. Woo! Very red bow. Looks like something straight out of Crimson from Terraria. No, let's test this baby out. Okay. Interesting. Ooh. Quite good. Oh wow, that guy's fucking studded. Move! Oh shoot! Get one more hit. Oh wow, that's nice. This is the spy. No ammo required. Arrows pierce enemies. Arrows are not subject to gravity. If inside demonic vapors, arrow costs no HP, and damage increased by 25%. With an arrow, every arrow costs 5 HP though, which is a pretty interesting downside. But if you use certain artifacts like the Shadow Heart, this weapon can become basically the better version of the Spirit Bow, which is already a really good weapon by itself. Now, for your second to final weapon. This guy. This is the Breathless. Ooh. Hello. Ooh. Interesting choice of weaponry. Let's see. Capabilities? Oh, hold on, he slumped. Wow. Very nice. The Breathless reduces weapon sway when aiming by 50%, with a 10% chance that a normal hit will turn into a critical hit, and 40 damage for a primary attack. 40 damage meaning that you can headshot any enemy that is not like a mini-boss or a heavy, and you can basically one-tap it, which is really good for a pistol. But one downside, though, is you can't use fanning on this gun. This guy is big, fat, heavy, and you need a certain setup type to actually make this thing work. Which, since I like the weapon so much, I actually spent time in trying to figure out what that setup could be. Which is stamina regeneration. Get as much of it as possible, especially using the skin boots. This weapon's quite amazing. Yo, move out the way. Let's go run this thing with a test drive real quick. Cool. I feel like Thor holding this. Oh, such a tanky weapon. Not only that, the melee, or I mean the secondary attack, or the ranged attack, actually has pierce. So you can hit through multiple enemies with it, making it absolutely bonkers in crowds. What up? As you can tell, I just fucking sniped something with this thing. Kinda crazy. What up? I thought he was slick. Come on. Shit. Hit him. Hit him. Run in the building. Hit him. Hit him. Oh shit! Oh! Big guy down. Big guy down. And amazing. This thing is a trooper. There's Stone Mace. Effective range 30 meters with this projectile. Heavy attacks release a projectile that pierces enemies. Reduces stamina regeneration by 30%. With a generic primary attack of 30 and a secondary of 50. Giving this weapon huge damage and even bigger damage with the golden oil or the whetstone. Very great. Probably my favorite weapon in the entire game at this point. My new favorite, that is.
And now, you've reached the end of the line. It ends here. This green crow skull. Past this point, you'll face it.
It's you. We expected you, although we never expected in our wildest dreams that our next meeting would take place under such favorable circumstances. Yes, this place is perfect. The veil between our worlds is thinnest here. And this place, meat and bones, perfect building blocks for our new body. You did well, Spark. You just set your whole world on fire. As a reward for your faithful but blind service, you will receive a gift from us. You will be the first to see our birth in this world. You will become the first victim on our altar of immortality. Then we will feast upon this world and the creatures that inhabit it. We'll suck them dry. Freedom at last.
Won't order me around anymore.
Faces in the dance of fleeting moments. My world shifts between dawn and night. Before my shadow left in the twilight, I'll go
the sweet thrill of victory. The villain is slain, the hero victorious, finally free. My fool, you'll never be free. We created you, granted you powers and abilities that exceed those of mere mortals, and yet you are but a tool. A wayward soldier of a cause way beyond your understanding. Without us, you have no purpose. You will find no peace, no escape, no place to call home. As you wander aimlessly until the end of days, you will realize all you achieved was in vain. You will witness the spread of the curse and the end of the civilization of man. And there will be us, waiting, and you will grovel before us. For we are eternal, and you are ours for eternity.
We'll see about that.
I don't belong. Nothing left to see. Everything is gone. Land is cursed, the skies are black. Monsters all around. Bloody hands, the smell of death. Rot is in the ground. Can't remember who I am. I'm never gonna rest. Life is but a curse in this hellish bloody west. Cleanse the barren lands with the vengeance in my breath. 'Cause I am the undead. I am the undead. I cannot find the light, the sound of darker things out there in the night. Am I alive or maybe dead? Have I won or lost? To rid this land of its curse comes at such a cost. Can't remember who I am, I'm never gonna rest. Life is but a curse in this hellish bloody west. Cleanse the barren lands with the vengeance in my chest. 'Cause I am the undead. I am the undead. I am the undead. I am beyond death.
What's up?
So it's kind of been a while since been a little bit, and I finally finished editing this video. If you're watching at the end of this and you watched the whole thing, thank you. If you didn't, eat my butt. You can go get run over, I don't know. I really worked hard on this. I think the process of this video took me a whole month, and I think I have 2 weeks straight of just editing. I had to delay a lot of things for this, and I probably won't be making the Blocktails video if you know about it. But thank you for watching, and I guess that's it. Play play my fucking song.